I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I've never seen anything like that my whole life. I'll remember this moment forever.
Perez left foot, and El Paso has some life.
It's inspirational what I saw tonight.
We have a one-goal game. El Paso's not going away quiet. Zacharias into the box. We're all level at 3, and we have a brand new affair.
But to have that character, show that fight, to show the unity together. Unbelievable. I'm so proud. Staff, players, guys back home. Go on and do something special this year, huh?
Come on.
Come on.
Welcome to El Paso, Texas. Hard not to be fired up after El Paso's come-from-behind performance on the road. And tonight, Locomotive looking for a big win against San Diego Loyal. Welcome inside Southwest University Park. I'm Duke Keith, joined as always by my partner Heidi Mocha. And Heidi, a tale of two halves in Colorado Springs, but my goodness, what a response in the second half by Locomotive FC.
Absolutely. Talk about a roller coaster of emotions watching that game. Yeah. Down 3-0 in the first 10 minutes of the match. 4 straight goals for Locomotive in the second. The effort, the fight, that never give up mentality, that's what this team is all about.
Let's take a quick recap of that big game against Colorado Springs. Once again, Locomotive, 3 quick goals they give up. Haji Berry with 2 in the first 7 minutes of the match. Things looking dire. And to make it worse, Elvis Amo gets another 3-0 going into the half. But Heidi, a completely different team in the second half.
Yeah, Hutch says he didn't give the guys a long halftime speech, but essentially just told them that the first half is not Locomotive soccer. He makes some halftime adjustments, subs in Dylan Maris, and you saw that first goal. What a shot. Zacharias with incredible effort all night, and that assist to Lucho for his second goal was pure class. Oh, and the finish from the striker, whew, that's not an easy one to score, but he makes it look so good. Completely dominant and probably one of the best halves we have ever seen from Locomotive. While it ended in a draw, it feels like a win for El Paso.
Hard not to feel like a victory after that performance. And tonight's opponent, San Diego Loyal, they've been on an excellent run, winning 5 in a row, but a bit of a hiccup in Birmingham. Off a set piece, Juan Agudelo gets the ball in the back of the net. A few more chances for SD, but even though they controlled possession, Birmingham Legion with the better looks at goal.
Well, this is what we've seen with Western Conference teams heading east. It's tough with the travel, but they took on a good team that was also on a winning streak. San Diego is still comfortably in second place in the table and looking strong to close out the season. But this is the first time for Loyal playing in El Paso, and Locomotive seems to be peaking at the right time of the season.
El Paso's good at home, and we're looking forward to that tonight. Locomotive FC versus San Diego Loyal. Starting lineups next.
Thank you for watching the pre-match show presented by the Brian Birds Home Selling Team. Score the best deal on a home with the Brian Birds Home Selling Team. Visit brianbirds.com or call 915-751-1500.
Southwest Chiropractic, serving El Paso area and relieving pain for more than 20 years. Not only do we treat auto, sports, and work-related injuries, but we also treat scoliosis, sciatica, back pain, disc injuries, chronic pain treatment, and we even manage stress. At Southwest Chiropractic, our patients are seen the same day. We provide gentle and effective care, and we accept most insurances. Schedule your appointment today and let us relieve your pain. With 3 convenient locations in El Paso, Southwest Chiropractic. Your health is our well-being. Call us today, 915-581-9619.
Welcome to Southwest University Park. An absolutely gorgeous Saturday evening is what it's turned into. Duke Keith, Heidi Mocha with you. We'll get down to Rachel Phillips here, the third member of our team, shortly, but let's take a look at the starting lineups for this evening's big match here at Southwest University Park. First for Locomotive FC, and notable, no Yuma tonight. Richie Ryan will be wearing the captain's armband, but you also notice down there at the very bottom, available for substitution, one of the brand new Locomotive players, Artom Kolud, in from Ukraine. He's a part of that, and Eder Borelli as well. Locomotive well set despite the absence of their captain.
Yes, and that's our second half spark plug is out there starting for this match, Dylan Maris. So we'll see if he can help us have a kick off the first half like we did the last match's second half.
Ricardo Zacarias there as well as we take a look at San Diego Loyals starting lineup tonight. Second in the West for Landon Donovan's squad. And this is a team that has been able to get it done all season long. A little bit of a hiccup, as we pointed out, versus Legion, but it's a long road to Birmingham, Alabama from San Diego, California.
It is. Dealing with travel. All the teams have done it this season. This has kind of been their time for that, but they lead the league in goals scored, so we'll keep an eye on that. Number 9, Vassal, is one of the goal scorers from the last match versus El Paso.
The reins have lifted and we are underway at Southwest University Park. Locomotive in their home blacks tonight. Ander filling in for Yuma. One of the fill-ins.
He passed the protocol from concussion after that last match, so it's good to see him back on the field and healthy.
Good work by Lucho to control against 2. A nice switch. Comes out to Calvillo for Borelli, immediately in and tried for that far post. I think it was more of a cross, but it didn't miss by much regardless.
It looked like that slick, the pitch might be a little slick from the rain earlier, but didn't quite hit it like he was hoping to. I think Lucho was just about there if he took a little bit off of it.
You saw him bring his hands up to his head. Been able to get under that. He was wide open. On the restart, Kyle Adams, the New Zealander. Touched up, and Evan Newton will have a goal kick. Richie Ryan, the veteran Irishman. Gomez a little loss of control, but Borelli back to Ryan, always knows what he wants to do next with the ball. Fox trying to cut one out. Looking for Aaron Gomez up top. Both of these teams love to possess the ball. They like to get it done with possession. And both of them the league leaders in passing. Of course, Locomotive, along with Galaxy 2, leading the league once again. Passing accuracy. And by quite a lot. Leading the league in passes. Good effort, though, by Loyal. The cross to the far post, and it's just wide. Thomas Among looking for Jake Blake. So we take a look at our referee crew tonight. In the middle, Sergei Demyanchuk. Assistant referees Chris Canales and Kevin Sanchez, and our fourth official is Marco Vega. Loyal looking to keep possession here. Back to the Kiwi, Kyle Adams. Good work by Calvillo. Harris trying to tie things up. Well won by Alejandro Guido. Cross attempt, Borelli, as we take a look at our Casa Auto Group keys to the game. What are you looking for tonight, Heidi?
First, let's control the game. So both of these teams, like you just mentioned, Duke, they like to possess the ball and don't give it up, typically on silly mistakes. While that doesn't directly translate into winning the match, El Paso needs to play their game, and that happens with possession. They lead the league in passes and passing accuracy, so look for El Paso to get the ball out wide and break the lines. then press them hard. We've seen Locomotive out here trying to put pressure on San Diego. So El Paso forwards and the entire team does a really good job of pressing. We've seen it all season. So now if they can win the second balls, push forward, El Paso might catch their wingbacks playing high, take advantage of that open space. And then we are at home tonight, so there's that home field advantage. First time San Diego Loyal has ever traveled to El Paso. It's a tough place to play here. We got that energy from the crowd, the elevation, and remember...
Zacarias pings one across, and Adams just there ahead of Lucho is able to tie that one up for Coque Vegas on the restart, playing it long, and it's going to be too long.
And you heard the crowd there on that ball across by Zacarias. But the Locomotive comes in this one knowing they can score and score in bunches. And Foxy said it during the week, score early and this place will be rocking.
Zacarias had a similar move at Colorado Springs last week. Not able to tie things up with Lucho that time. But you want to talk about a combination. A pass from Dylan Maris out of the midfield that cuts the lines out. Zacarias in his first team of the week for the USL Championship at this level.
Yeah.
And what a finish by Lucho. You were talking about this before the match.
Mm-hmm.
It is such an incredible skill to be able to do that first time.
Oh, it was, he made it look easy, and that was like a world-class finish.
Great work by the Argentine. Maris tied up, and that'll be out for a Loyal throw. Guido did well to bounce that one off his opposite, number 10. San Diego working it around. It's Martin. Good work here by Conway. Can't connect. Looking for Kyle Vassell, the Englishman. Ricardo Zacarias has had himself a year, and I think obviously it's the big collision there with Kyle Adams. If he can bottle that kind of consistency, I think that's what to look for. I mean, here's a guy who's from Las Cruces, New Mexico. He's made his way through League One. Nice sidestep here by Vassell.
Yeah, he has earned, you know, his position on the field.
Good thought by Calvillo looking for Lucho. Locomotive has done well with the possession in the early going here. But his work rate, I think, in lots of different positions around the field. You talk about right back, that's one thing. But if you're able to play him up front, we saw what he could do.
Oh, yeah.
Last week versus the switchbacks.
And sometimes when you can play just about every position, you know, as a utility player, it gets kind of bypassed, the value that you're bringing. But he has never stopped fighting to get that start, to get those minutes, and every minute he gets, he makes them count. He does whatever the team needs, wins that ball, and then his vision in the last game to find that space and then find the open man. Like, his service was to a man who could try to get a goal, not just into a space, not just, you know, hoping and praying.
And let's head down to the third member of our team, Rachel Phillips, and I am sure that he opened the eyes, Ricardo Zacarias, of his head coach, John Hutchinson, with that performance last week, Rach.
Yeah, definitely, Duke. An absolute standout performance from Ricardo. Probably the best of his career. It actually got him on Team of the Week for the first time ever in his career as well. He told me during the week that it gave him a lot of confidence, but not just for him, for the team as well. He said, quote, "We're going to start peaking again, and I feel like this is the perfect moment because we are coming to the end of the season. We have 8 games left, and the team unity has always been, and it gives us confidence to face San Diego." And he went on to say that, you know, they know they've got a quality team, but scoring 4 goals in 14 minutes really gave the team that belief that they can come out here and beat a top team like San Diego. So watch them try to put that in action here tonight.
Charlie Adams sent one across. Locomotive does well to cover their angles, but San Diego sending that one over the byline, and it'll be a goal kick for Evan Newton. Inches away, though, from Thomas Amah, the Cameroonian. pretty solid thought to get him the ball at the edge of the 6, but wasn't able to steer it on frame. Shots on target, your old bugaboo.
Yeah, my old bugaboo.
Carlos Zacarias on the pitch for the man from Las Cruces. And
yeah,
you know, if he can bottle that consistency, he's going places.
So, I mean, his performance was nationally recognized. We saw that. But, you know, at halftime, Coach Hutchison was trying to figure out what does he need to do, what kind of subs does he need to make in our last match. And he said he kind of was planning out subs and was actually thinking about taking Zacarias off. So we might not have seen what we saw. But he changed his mind and said sub Richie Ryan in for Liam and Dylan in for Francois. But what he saw in the last 5 minutes of the first half, he saw Zacarias just chasing down a guy and then push the ball forward. And he had, you know, had an idea of what he might get to see from him in the second half. And coach is pretty glad that he made that right decision with these changes. So called it one of the best halves he's seen from his side all year, and it was just a pure joy watching them from the sideline. So Zacarias was a big part of how we got there.
I'd say that was a pretty good call to make. Keep Ricardo Zacarias on the pitch. There's Ryan and Calvillo.
And I'm sure San Diego saw that too, so, you know, they might have their eye on him a little bit more tonight, but that's good. That draws attention. If a player draws more attention, that means, you know, one of the very able, capable playmakers or scorers gets a little bit more space.
Good work to stay with it by Jake Blake, I should say. Jack Blake. It works with the long A or the short A both ways around.
Zacarias is kind of pulling Aaron Gomez, a box-to-box. Box-to-box forward play.
Pretty much. Kind of nice if you have a pair of those guys in the lineup. Well, won again by Blake. Goodness. Blake, we should note, part of that Real Monarchs lineup that won a USL Championship in 2019. Before he moved to start a new life with his family in San Diego, he has been a part of the loyal squad since they started business in 2020. Great work to get around here. Coming in, the touch. Evan Newton denies. Among at the very last. Cameroonian with nowhere left to maneuver. You could tell he wanted to make that last pass, and there was just no one to make it to. And he's hurt. Speaking of, let's take a look at the Texas Tech health report for Locomotive FC. Chapa still out with that ACL. Chavon with a lower leg injury. Philip Beigel out with an ankle. And Emmanuel Sanupe, lower body injury. But good to see Chapa up and working with the team as they tend the Texas Tech now to the doctor, Thomas Amon.
Yeah, I mean, they're still out, but there's some progress. Chavon's no longer in a brace. He's been attending training and doing individual work, some stuff on the bike. And then, like you said, Chapa, he's out there running individually. No lateral stuff yet, but he's already had his surgery and out there. So that's nice to see them making some recovery.
Like maybe a strain in the lower back area of Among, and he'll be helped off the pitch. I think just trying to make that extra effort. Maybe the pitch is a little slick out there.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, oh, just
stretch something you didn't want to stretch.
Can't put the brakes on like you're used to, so you just feet go out from under you just a little bit.
Lots and lots of rain in the El Paso, Las Cruces area over the last couple of days. But a good effort here by Locomotive FC in possession for most of our first 14 minutes. Nonetheless, here's Vassell, takes it away from Ander, trying to chip the keeper. Nowhere near the altitude he needed to get it over Evan Newton. But are you liking what you're seeing in terms of pace of play from Locomotive so far?
Yeah, Locomotive, both sides are kind of playing at a pretty fast pace. What I'd like to see is possession with a little bit more emphasis on attacking. You know, creating that final piece to goal.
Good effort by Boehner, looking for Zacarias, just a little too far ahead. Rachel Phillips with more on what John Hutchinson is looking for tonight from his team. Rach?
Yeah, Dookie, I mean, you've seen, like you both mentioned, a bit of a faster start here, especially in comparison to what we saw from the Locomotive last week. They had probably one of their slowest starts of the entire season, and head coach Hutchinson and Lucho Soloniak said nobody anticipated the slow start last week, but they said everyone is now aware of it. They spoke during the week about why it took them 45 minutes to get going and show that fight, hunger, and desire. So expect the Locos to continue this fast pace that they've already begun with here tonight, and hopefully what emulates what their second half performance was as this game goes on.
Kyle Vassell, well dealt with by Locomotive. Blake. Maris. Nicely off his shin to Borelli.
He's got control with every part of his body.
Lucho appreciates the effort, but a little too far ahead. Former team captain of Locomotive sister squad across the border, Ciudad Juarez and Juarez Bravos, is Eder Borelli. Good turn again by Aaron Gomez. I think if there's anybody they'd like to get going again offensively, it would be Aaron Gomez. Here's San Diego coming straight out. A great cutout by Andrew Fox.
That was well read.
Yuma-esque, you might even say.
They are a good pair.
Zacarias. Elijah Martin gets in front of him. Landon Donovan's side, patient in the early going. They haven't had a whole lot of the ball, but they have had some good forays in the attack. Trying to get that up to Amon. Good to see him back on the pitch.
And the Locomotive there in that little run, it was nice to see them really play like a team defense. The ball got knocked between San Diego players, and you saw Ryan shift, and you saw, you know, different Locomotive players shift, just kind of visually and with bodies, not allow them those through balls or those open men.
Blake and his opposite number 7. Down it comes to Vassell, and he scores in transition. What a pass by Blake. And it's 1-0 as we hit the 18th minute.
The way he brought that ball down and that touch was pretty spot on.
One Englishman to another. Blake with an absolutely gorgeous ball to Vassell, who knew what to do with it. And it is that quickly 1-0. Kyle Vassell with his 12th goal of the season for the team leading the USL Championship in goals scored. Fans still whistling and giving some boos as Aaron Gomez tied up with Blake, who won the ball. We'll take a look at this one again. Now Blake's just trying to control and got tied up. Fans want to boo, and maybe a high boot, maybe a dangerous play, but Blake certainly trying to play the ball, and boy did he. What a pass. So Vassell with his 12th of the season.
Yeah, I mean, that was execution by Vassell on bringing that service down. His first touch, placed it perfectly to be able to allow, or not allow, the Locomotive player to recover, and perfectly placed that past Newton. I mean, Newton came out, but that's, the striker did what the striker is supposed to do.
Paso with his 12th, that is the 3rd assist for Blake on the season. Just seconds into the 18th minute, and Locomotive, as much as they have dominated possession here in the early going, giving up the counterattack goal. Another early goal given up by Locomotive as they try to even things. That's well crossed. Scoops away from Maris, wasn't able to control. They're looking for Lucho. Just have not been able to find him. And it'll be a free kick after a foul. As eighth notch and Eder Borelli getting a caution here in the 20th. Well, if anything, Locomotive certainly proved to itself last week, Rachel Phillips, that they can come back from first half deficits. What is the mood on the bench right now?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Duke. I mean, this is obviously not the start they wanted. They wanted to come out here, start fast, score some early goals, continue the momentum from last week. But one thing we know about this team is they will never back down. Hutch said nobody in the team has a switch to retreat and defend so the scoreline doesn't get any worse. Instead, they're always going to go out swinging and fighting, even if that means they go down. That's exactly how they got out of that 3-0 deficit last week. They played with no fear, so expect the same type of attitude and mentality here tonight.
Zacarias. Again, good thoughts. Just not able to hook things up with their target man up front. Lucho Solignac. Lucho leading the team in goals with 9 after his brace versus switchbacks last week. And wonderful to get him back in the scoring column, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You could see, you know, his confidence when he put that second goal away. Wasn't even a second thought that he knew he was going to be able to finish it.
Okay, Vegas, Amon, Maris, Calvillo, and Ryan. Eighth notch serenading the crowd here on a Saturday evening. Another fireworks night after the match. And despite the rain, solid crowd on hand. It is a great atmosphere. Watching Zacarias go to work. No fouls called. We continue on. Elijah Martin. A little worse for the wear for this meetup with Zacarias. And down on the pitch. Martin needs a minute. 25-year-old out of Fresno, California. Skips up on the Irishman a bit. Boehner. What are you looking to see here, Heidi?
Well, did you notice when Boehner got it, all the Locomotive players were all in that middle third. I was looking for somebody to pop out wide. Either pull a man or you'd be wide open. And then you can serve the ball back into that.
Maris, wonderful cross. Vegas almost spilled it, but does maintain control with Calvillo knocking at the edge of the 6.
And that's the key, is to put things central, put things wide. Put things central, put things wide. Kind of moving players around, finding that opportunity.
Nobody step 2. It's well won by Ahmed. Ross is unhappy. And now the foul. Zacarias gets a talking to. Guido down again. Has eighth notch chance. Pobrecito. To Guido, a young man from Chula Vista, California. And another caution. This one to Zacarias in the 24th. So 2 yellow cards in 4 minutes. For a team that knows a little bit about the color yellow this year.
Exactly. I was thinking, what are we at right now for the season?
Can we count that high?
Teams coming here playing Locomotive know that it's going to be a physical match.
They have challenged. It skips away from Martin. Good work by Zacarias. And that is going to be Ander Aguiluth. Ander gets the yellow card in the 25th minute. My goodness. This Vassal is down. That happened right in front of the referee, and he was firm in his decision.
I think that was sold a little bit by the striker. They both kind of got caught up, but I think he sold it a little bit more, making it seem a little bit harder than it was.
Well, and this
it was a foul for sure, but it was
maybe not worthy of a caution. No,
it might be, but it's trying to be sold as a lot more violent of a foul, in my view.
Another Texas Tech nod to the dock for San Diego. Lots of injury stoppage here in the early going, and 3 cautions. Does this become a concern for John Hutchinson so early in the match?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely, now the players that are on yellows will have to kind of look to maybe be a little less, get stuck in on some of their challenges. You don't want to end up going a man down because of 2 yellows. Now the other thing is, I kind of feel like, okay, it's Locomotive are getting chippy instead of saying, hey, we got this. Let's do the simple things well. Let's pass well. Let's move. Let's find space. Let's, focus on that. Instead, they're kind of just a little bit caught up in the moment.
Outswinger. Mom had that over the byline. We never got much of that at all. The delivery from Charlie Adams. Quick restart over the top to find Lucho. It's Newton. The Argentine draws a crowd. Still with it. Lucho does well, but finally Blake able to take it away. And then steps up, but again Blake out distances. Out of Vassal. Evan Conway. Blake has been full value so far for Loyal. Conway gets wide by his man. Puts it into the box. Poyon says the referee is on there with the takedown. It'll be a goal kick in the end.
And San Diego does well there to push the pace. Managing to win the ball and then push it through the midfield, out wide, and into the attacking third. I mean, that gets Locomotive a little bit on their heels, and if they creating a chance if they could have just put it on goal.
They're going to need to find a way to deal with Blake, who has been the catalyst for a lot of what San Diego has done so far. Loyal leading 1-0. The goal in the 18th minute for the visitors. Of course, Landon Donovan, Captain America. He came out with a new poster. I saw his tweet the other day. One of the most highly decorated men's national teamers ever. Just good work. Maris, give it go with Lucho, but well cut out. Loyal on that. Colin Martin, who has the ball here.
Yeah, Locomotive has got to
Martin.
Find a way
Skied that one over the crossbar.
to not allow them to have that speedy transition.
That one coming up the left side this time, but still dangerous. And Among has been wide on 3 attempts at goal so far, but you don't want to give him too many opportunities.
No.
Calvillo, Locomotive looking for some teeth at the end of their attacks. Good thoughts to try and get it to Lucho, who has looked dangerous from time to time, but
I mean, San Diego's, they got numbers back. They got men behind.
Aaron Gomez, flag stays down. Gomez earns a corner kick for Locomotive.
Locomotive did a good job to get the ball out wide, and we'll see what Locomotive can do on a set piece here.
Richie Ryan, the Irishman, wearing the captain's armband as Yuma out with yellow card accumulation. The good news about that is it resets.
Yes.
And it's the latter part of the season. So as Locomotive returns to action next week versus Rising FC, we'll be there. Outswinging ball, well met by Grant Stoneman. And then looking on the right side, and that should be a foul. It is. Evan Conway meets with a high contact, and of course, yes. And then Borelli is hurting with that right shoulder. You see the brace poking out of his sleeve. Doesn't look like he is favoring that necessarily, but certainly hit the ground on it. And words for Mr. Damjanchuk, our center referee. Evan Conway, man from Whitefish Bay, Wisconsin. A good Midwestern, how did you do? In swinging ball from Ryan from the right side. Maris trying to step to it. And again cut out by Stoneman. Amam trying to get wide. Does. Nowhere to go, back to Martin.
And so Locomotive, when Locomotive is getting the ball and thinking about going to goal, Locomotive keeps going central. And they have got to, I know they think, oh, that's the sense of urgency, that's the focus. But it is also the easiest to defend against. You know, the keeper, the ball's coming straight at the keeper, the defenders can come straight to the ball, they can pressure you. You got to get it out wide, maybe central, then out wide.
I think they were listening to you, Calvillo. Borelli, service on a dime, just wide. Lucho. Good work by Kyle Adams to be there and be that presence in front of Lucho. But that, as was the most dangerous bit of offensive attack I think we've seen tonight. And I think they heard you.
Classic Borelli service. But I mean, San Diego is there to challenge and be there for that ball, or else Lucho, I think, puts that on goal. But it is much harder for keepers and defenders to handle balls that are coming in from the flanks than coming straight at them. And the other thing is, I also would. Sometimes we get the balls in behind the last defender when we're breaking it in from the flank, but I also like it to get to the end line and then dropping it back, because then a lot of times you end up with defenders running towards their own goal and attackers going forward.
Zacarias tries a shot. It's deflected by Martin up high. Zacarias able to chest it down, but Boyle able to push that out. It's Martin. And now here's Amon. The dangerous feet of Blake. Borelli, honestly, great service in from left wing, but pretty much a physical mismatch against Jack Blake. Here's a long distance shot, well defended by Fox in front of it. Well dealt with on Charlie Adams. Throw in for Locomotive.
And with Yuma not in, it's Foxy's really having to stay home a lot more than where he usually has a little bit more freedom to get involved in the attack to some degree as well. But he's doing a great job. It's just an adjustment.
Amon. Fox on him allows Ryan to peel away. Here's Borelli over the top. Flag is up. Lucho ready to start his run, but just a step ahead of the back line. First offside flag. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2022, whether your club is on the road or at home. Nearly every second of the championship is on ESPN Plus, home to the USL, MLS, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. Charlie Adams coming centrally. Goes wide to Blake, and why not? Service over the top. Well deflected. Dancing is Conway. Tries the cross. Deflected by Boehner, and it'll be a corner coming for San Diego. Loyal. 5 points, rather 7 points off the pace set by San Antonio FC coming into tonight's match. 15 wins in the season for Landon Donovan's squad. It's Guido, short corner. They'll play it back. Guido, that's deflected, comes back around, and Among got a foot to it, but again wide. And the offside flag was up regardless. Locomotive again, Evan Newton. Quick restarts here. As the men in black trying to get something working. That's a step too far ahead of Gomez. The give and go, wide of Conway. Conway still gets the cross off, 1 against 3. Sidestep Zacarias. Ander and Boehner. Locomotive able to survive though. Blake weaving his way. Chips it. And then back out, Calvillo and Ryan.
That possession in through the back line in volleys and headers, that was a nice little combination there.
Nice combination to work it out of trouble, but can't keep possession of the attacking third. Coque Vegas, the Spaniard. Over the top, Among gets over Foxy. Among fires wide. His 5th shot of the night. Everything has gone wide of the target.
This time he got it on the ground though. It was
should have been another.
Driven.
We hit the 37th minute. Thomas Among, one of those 5, probably that one, should have been in the back of the net. Locomotive plays on. Trailing 0-1 on the goal from Kyle Vassell, his 12th of the season. Good switch here by Fox, and that'll be off the head. Elijah Martin for a corner. Fox a good thought, and San Diego kind of got hung up a little bit. Worried about Ricardo Zacarias on the right-hand side.
And we finally got to see Fox get a little forward.
Richie Ryan. The Irishman. In swinging ball. Headed out again by Adams. Boehner chipping one over the top, and that doesn't go where he wanted it to. He wanted to settle that one. It did not go.
Yeah, that's a tough ball to get to drop right in and to catch up to. It's a kind of a tight space to work with.
Charlie Adams back into the middle, working around to Martin. And a switch. Blake. Among. Well dealt with by Fox. Harris will find some room to Calvillo.
I think Lucho wanted it, but Gomez was wide open. But I mean, that's a heck of a service
Morelli, nice touch. The shot off the bar and grabbed by Vegas. Dylan Maris, what a give and go with Lucho.
What a chance there, and a great strike, just that round goal post.
That's actually Calvillo. Calvillo, the perfect ball to Maris, but Maris cannot steer it in. Off that right post, and here is Vassell crossing to Among. Morelli gets position in time, and Among lets it go out for a Locomotive throw.
I really like that Calvillo, like you said, he had that simple touch, played it simple. One touch right to Maris. Maris did what he was supposed to do, and it just was off by, you know, a hair.
The old Get Smart TV series would say, missed it by that much.
Yeah.
Oh, well done. Lucho. Vayner plays it into space, but only Martin there to fill that space. Good work again by Maris, though. And here's Ryan. Calvillo. Locomotive looking dangerous. Calvillo centrally. Looking for the shot, deflected wide. It'll be a corner.
He looked like he was thinking, how do I get in a position to strike this?
He wanted it.
He did.
The El Salvador international certainly shown his worth after playing for his country, as that deflected off of Colin Martin. Stings a little bit. Martin still hands on his knees. Locomotive dominating possession, passing, corner kicks once again. Looking for that first goal. Ryan, the in-swinger. Maris launches one. So Locomotive beginning to look dangerous as we are about ready to enter the 42nd minute, but it is San Diego that has found the back of the net. Playing very direct soccer for a team that likes possession. I think that Landon Donovan's side has shown their quality, basically doing something a little different from what they usually like to do.
Yeah, I mean, they know that they're playing another team that possesses the ball, and the Locomotive has shown that they've had vulnerability to being played directly. So if that's an opportunity, then teams are going to use that, you know, not just stick with one weapon.
They have their reward, 1-0 to the visitors. Here's Blake. Vassell. Vassell. Martin. Martin draws them in. Nicely done to Conway. And in it for another, it's Amo. This time makes no mistake, Thomas Among. 2-0 to the visitors. Well worked, and that was possession-based soccer. Among, 6 times the charm, 2-0 to the visitors.
And that's a nice ball across just behind the defense.
Fox tried to get there, but it slips underneath. And Among. His 9th of the season. Well, John Hutchinson did not want to repeat the first half from last week, but it is 2-0 to the visitors, and you wonder what he might have coming in the second frame. Rachel Phillips might have some insight on that. Rachel, what are you seeing and hearing from the bench?
Yeah, guys, well, pretty interesting last week when they were down that 3-0 deficit. Hutchinson went into the locker room. He spoke for a little bit about who they want to be as a team and asked them what they want to be, if they want to be successful, if they want the season to be over. He then spoke about some areas they could change, but then he left with 7.5 minutes to go and let them figure out as a team who they wanted to be. And well, what you saw in the second half is a team that is completely united and knew if they were going to go down, they were going to go down swinging and fighting. Hutch said he's never been prouder of the team, and it was incredible watching them play their style of football. So yes, they're going in down 2-0, but that's not to say this team can't come back out here and put on a performance just like they did last week.
Well, Blake trying to keep that over the byline. In play, was not able to do so, and here is another corner kick for Locomotive FC. Eighth notch, keeping the noise high here in Southwest University Park. To the far post, Aguiluz on there, gets ahead to it. Blake again in front.
And, you know, Rachel talking about the halftime adjustment. So Foxy had talked about that, what happened at halftime, and said usually they look at film and something, you know, what they were going to have changed tactically. Didn't have that. Coach just told them it wasn't good enough and it's not who they are, and then it was the players' turn. The players spoke about just going out there and getting one and seeing what happens. You know, maybe the other team could be complacent from being up 3-0.
Well, Fox trying to get in on Blake. Takes him down and earns a free kick in a pretty dangerous spot, as there will be 2 minutes of stoppage time. Blake certainly a great deliverer of the ball.
Yes, he has done well tonight.
Can score from outside the box. He had 4 goals from outside the 18-yard box last season alone.
So hopefully Locomotive can kind of keep them off the board in this last 2 minutes. But you know what Foxy was talking about from the last one was they just wanted to get one and see how it affects the game in that second half. And we saw after that first goal, the momentum changed. You know, the other team's heads got down. Second one went in, and the team was thinking, we can do this. Third one, and then they all were like, let's win this. So Foxy said that would have been the best win of his entire career if they had pulled off the win.
Well, we can talk about the finish of that one, but as you point out, when you're 3-0 down, going into the first half, that's an awful lot to overcome. Locomotive, though, still in the hunt in 6th place, and it will be off the wall. Charlie Adams. Second effort, they'll switch it out to Adams' right side. Adams drives one. Knocked back into the middle and given a ride up and over the bar by Guido. Harris and Ryan trying to control. Harris chased back by Guido.
He definitely saw what he can do when he has the ball at his feet after the last match, and doubling him there.
And that is the end of the first half of play. 2-0 to Loyal FC. A goal against the run of play, a goal moving the ball around as Loyal likes to do. 2-0 to the visitors with the second 45 to come here in El Paso, Texas.
Okay, this is for par. Your shot.
Build your own new Ford with Casa today. Order the exact vehicle you want and get your Ford your way.
We'll pay up to $1,000 over Kelley Blue Book for your car.
Come and see us at El Paso's only President's Award winner, Casa Ford.
Home of the nice guys.
Yeah!
Welcome to the GECU Halftime Show. Manage your accounts 24/7 with GECU Online Banking, the GECU mobile app, and GECU ATMs. Learn more at gecu.com.
Beautiful downtown El Paso, looking south into Ciudad Juarez across the International Bridge in the Rio Grande River. 2-0 to the visitors here tonight. San Diego Loyal SC with a couple of big goals. Locomotive FC looking for answers in the second half. Good thing they found them last week. That should stand them well as we take a look at scores from around the rest of the USL. On Friday, Orange County SC with a 2-1 win over Phoenix Rising FC. That is Locomotive's opponent next week here at Southwest University Park. On Saturday, August the 13th, San Antonio FC 2-0 over Las Vegas Lights. Monterey Bay, a big 1-0 win over Sac Republic, headed to the Open Cup Finals. And of course, Sunday, it is LA Galaxy 2 and New Mexico United 2-2 full-time in Los Angeles. As we take a look at the Western Conference standings, San Antonio FC continues at the top by 7 over Loyal, looking for 3 more tonight with a 2-0 lead at the half. Switchbacks FC still firmly in the chase, 42 points. Sacramento Republic has had quite the season in the Open Cup Final on September the 7th and in 4th place in the West. New Mexico United at 39 points. Vegas Lights 34 points. Locomotive FC in that 7th and final playoff spot with 34 points as well. As we take a look at the storylines from around the United Soccer League, check out where El Paso lands in the USL Championship's weekly power rankings. Visit uslchampionship.com. You can also vote for the USL Championship team and plays of the week. That's the save of the week, the goal of the week at uslchampionship.com. Of course, Lucho Solignac, Lucho, the defending, player of the week for the USL. And of course, Ricardo Zacarias, his first time on that first team side. And of course, as we pointed out, Sacramento Republic in the Open Cup Final, a huge win versus Sporting KC on penalties 5-4. They will advance to the final against Orlando City, set to be played September the 7th in Orlando. Sacramento beating 3 MLS teams to make it to the final. Galaxy, San Jose, and Sporting, becoming the first lower division club since 2008 to reach the Open Cup Final. It'll be the first lower division side this century to win the Open Cup, of course. Well, one may save that for a trivia question for you later, Heidi Mocha. Coming up, 2-0 here at the break. San Diego Loyal with the lead over Locomotive FC. Back with more after this.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals. I'm on that routine.
Welcome back to Southwest University Park. It's a beautiful night out here as we have the score in this one right now. Locomotive 0, San Diego Loyal 2. A great connection we've seen tonight is Borelli and Lucho find the opportunity on the wings. Borelli sends it across, just missing Lucho. And then simple play over to Dylan Maris with a great serve that just stolen from the post. And then Calvillo here works the ball and gets that strike just missing, but earning a corner for the team. We're definitely looking to see the Locomotive to continue to create these attacking chances, but they really need to focus on getting the ball central, then back out wide and back inside so we can have see our strikers get those chances on goal. We have seen El Paso score goals in bunches even when the second half gets started, so we're looking for that. And in this game, the score right now is El Paso 0, San Diego 2, but we'll be back after the break and see Locomotive get after it.
Okay, this is for par. Your shot.
Build your own new Ford with Casa today. Order the exact vehicle you want and get your Ford your way.
We'll pay up to $1,000 over Kelley Blue Book for your car.
Come and see us at El Paso's only President's Award winner, Casa Ford.
Home of the nice guys.
Yeah!
Whoa, Tony.
I don't think anyone's going to miss that.
Up, and away.
I hope he knows how to operate that thing.
Get 1.9% financing on most new Nissans, plus no payments for 90 days. Or get 1.99% financing on a certified pre-owned Sentra, Altima, Rogue, or Rogue Sport.
Your ride could be worth $5,000 or even $10,000 more than you think, and Casa Nissan wants to buy it. We'll pay up to $1,000 over Kelley Blue Book for your car.
Our casa is su casa. Yeah!
Welcome back, everybody. Beautiful downtown El Paso. The rains have subsided, but Locomotive looking to make it rain goal-wise. 2-0, Loyal SC over Locomotive. Duke, Keith, and Heidi Mocha with you as we take a look here in the GECU halftime show with the GECU first half stats. And shot accuracy. Loyal 27%. Locomotive has yet to steer a shot on target. 3 for Loyal. 2 of those have gone in. 85% passing accuracy for both teams. Possession, about like you'd think, 60-40 roughly, favoring Locomotive FC. I think one thing that's not being shown, dual success rate, 70% for Loyal, 30% for El Paso. I think that's something to keep an eye on. Loyal has done a great job just battling their way through it and continuing things.
They haven't, and that kind of really can affect the flow of the game. So before we head to break, let's take a minute to recognize tonight's Hospitals of Providence employee highlight. Big shout out to Stephen Rosales, the Director of Nursing for the Emergency Department at the Hospitals of Providence Memorial Campus. Stephen is a dedicated nursing leader committed to ensuring patients have access to high-quality care during emergency situations. Thank you, Stephen, for the difference you make in the lives of patients and in our community.
Second half is a few minutes away. Locomotive FC looking for some offensive answers. Loyal SC with the 2-0 lead here in El Paso, Texas. More after this.
Thank you for watching the GECU Halftime Show. Manage your accounts 24/7 with GECU Online Banking, the GECU mobile app, and GECU ATMs. Learn more at gecu.com.
Okay, this is for par. Your shot.
Build your own new Ford with Casa today. Order the exact vehicle you want and get your Ford your way.
We'll pay up to $1,000 over Kelley Blue Book for your car.
Come and see us at El Paso's only President's Award winner, Casa Ford.
Home of the nice guys.
Yeah!
Los Locos return home on Saturday, August 27th at Southwest University Park to take on Phoenix Rising FC. The first 1,500 fans through the gates will receive a free Locomotive Luchador mask and stay after the match for the best fireworks show in the city. Find your tickets at eplocomotivefc.com. Vamos El Paso!
Whoa, Tony! I don't think anyone's going to miss that.
Up, and away.
I hope he knows how to operate that thing.
Get 1.9% financing on most new Nissans, plus no payments for 90 days. Or get 1.99% financing on a certified pre-owned Sentra, Altima, Rogue, or Rogue Sport.
Your ride could be worth $5,000 or even $10,000 more than you think, and Casa Nissan wants to buy it. We'll pay up to $1,000 over Kelley Blue Book for your car.
Our casa es su casa. Yeah!
Welcome back, everybody, to Southwest University Park. The overhead view from our drone here at the SWAP. Duke Keith along with Heidi Mocha. As once again, Locomotive here in the first half. We take a look at some of the first half highlights quickly, and it was all San Diego. But Locomotive does have some opportunities here. Borelli sent that one wide. If he'd been able to keep his feet, Lucho waiting at the far post. Up it comes Loyal, the nice back heel. Chipped wide, Borelli getting one in there as Among chipped off of him. Gomez, was that a foul? Jack Blake simply playing for the ball. Long ball, route one over the top to Vassell in the 18th. That's actually the 17th. They marked it right at the end of the 17th minute. And that was 1-0. Locomotive. Great give and go. Calvillo to Dylan Maris, and you could see the frustration from the man from Indiana. But a great pass in from the left wing, Charlie Adams, and Among. 6 times the charm, as we pointed out, finally gets one to go as San Diego with a 2-0 lead. Let's go down to Rachel Phillips with thoughts on the second half. And what will we see in half number 2, Rachel Phillips?
Well, Duke, good to know that Hutch still has a sense of humour, even though they're down 2-0 right now. First question I asked him, I said, look, Hutch, you're creating a lot of opportunities. How do you get the ball in the back of the net, though? He had a good chuckle at me and said, yes, they are creating a lot of opportunities, and he's really happy with that. It's just about executing on that final sequence of play. But he wants to see them to keep creating those opportunities for them. And he said eventually a goal will come. They're taking a very similar mentality as what they did last week. Get that first goal, and then the next goal will come, and then the next one after that. In defense, he said the thing that's really killing them is those transition plays, and we've really seen that so many times throughout the season. He says he wants to see guys really go more one-on-one, be more lethal in defense, and stop those plays very early on before it becomes an attacking play for San Diego.
Thanks very much, Rachel. And second half substitution, Nick Hines replacing Eder Borelli. We pointed out Jack Blake versus Eder Borelli, just a physical mismatch. Eder Borelli is a great passer of the ball, but Jack Blake has eaten his lunch tonight, and I think John Hutchinson saw that.
Yeah, and sometimes, Hines has been able to watch the first half. You get that advantage of being able to kind of pick apart who you might be matched up against.
And it's an early Texas Tech nod to the dock behind the play. It's Richie Ryan down, and he is pointing to his right ankle or calf, and that is not good news for Locomotive FC. The talisman, the team captain, Richie Ryan, already down as we replay this. And the 37-year-old Irishman being tended to by Ricardo Ruiz. Our Texas Tech nod to the dock. And Southwest University Park collectively holding its breath right now for its team captain. Seemed to be looking at that right shin.
Yeah, or high ankle. You know.
He's trying to move it. Let's take a look. It looks like we do have a replay. And he is up under his own steam, and that's good to see. Oh, just took a cleat.
To maybe be
right
side or Achilles.
Kyle Vassell backing into him, and Richie Ryan, of course, is going to have a word for our referee. Let's remember Richie Ryan played with the fracture in a game where he was eventually red carded, and I believe the guy he had the red card offense against, it was a bad tackle. He helps him back up to the pitch. Just amazing, and Richie Ryan is off under his own steam and back on the pitch. Wonderful to see. Back in the match for Locomotive FC. And the foul is going to be called on Vassell. A little bit of an elbow on Andrew Fox. Oh, no, it isn't.
Oh, no.
It's a throw-in. Looked like the
he's calling a
assistant referee had ruled a throw-in for Locomotive. It is indeed a foul on Locomotive. So Fox whistled for the foul, and here is Jack Blake. Back there along with Charlie Adams, and it will be a step over. Blake, the swinging ball. Vassell heads it clearly way up and over. Well, San Diego has been lethal with its finishes, and that, I think, is the sign of a quality team. They've given up possession. They probably knew that coming in. But Landon Donovan's side showing its quality tonight with a 2-0 lead.
Right, and that's what they've decided when they win the ball and earn possession, they're looking to attack. Not keep the ball in their defensive part of the field or the midfield. They're trying to get forward in transition quick and put the Locomotive on, on their heels as quick as possible. And they've executed in that final piece,
So we'll see how Nick Hines does against Jack Blake. That will bounce kindly for Vassell. Up it comes Among. Slots one, and it's saved by Newton. He tried to slot it. Newton with the first big save of the evening. He hasn't been called upon a whole lot tonight.
No, but that was huge. That was huge. That was not just for keeping him off the scoreboard. That's an emotional, just run of play of the game.
And another turnover. Vassell and Among with a breakaway. Out to Among again. That's going to be offside. And he knew it was offside, did Colin Martin. Tried to step back, jump back. No, I got to touch the ball. Flag was up immediately. And down is Blake. Drawing the ire of 8 knots there in section 105, right behind Evan Newton's goal. Up under his own steam and ready to walk it off. Couple of tough veterans in Richie Ryan and Jack Blake, that is for sure. The man from Nottingham, England. I would imagine a Forest fan. We don't know that, but Nottingham Forest back into the Premier League this season. If he is a Forest fan, he's certainly ecstatic. Amon certainly has looked dangerous himself. He and Vassell try to get something working here. Not able to return the favor Vassell gave him earlier. Locomotive has shown that it can respond in half number 2. Do they have the same temerity tonight? Aaron Gomez, man you'd like to see have the ball more for Locomotive FC. Great give and go with Lucho. And a great takeaway by Coque Vegas. Okay. They're going to show a caution to Aaron Gomez, but I will say our referee, Mr. Demjanchuk, well behind the play. And when you see a player writhing around like he's a caterpillar, I'm sorry, that's kind of a giveaway. We may have to see on replay as Koke Vegas has
yeah.
already taken off the hand gear. It is a caution to Aron Gomez in the 51st minute. Let's take a look. Well, Aron Gomez certainly allowed to play for the ball. Vegas first to it. I mean, it's kind of difficult to gauge, but let's take a look at this. There we go. Does he make contact here? If he makes contact, it's with his trailing foot.
I know, it's hard to really see what he must have hit the arm.
Maybe over the top
ball,
of the knuckle. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure I see it. And it's...
But...
Rachel Phillips, what did you see from the San Diego bench point of view?
Well, they certainly saw that it should have been more than a yellow card. Landon Donovan, as well as the rest of his bench, up in arms, yelling at the refs, asking for more than just a yellow card there on Aron Gomez. The crowd, on the other hand, well, they wanted nothing of that. Boos completely from the crowd, and that was the same at halftime when both San Diego and the umpires walked off the field. They were just constantly booing them, not happy with some of the decisions that have been made here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, calling that a foul is and a yellow card, but I don't see why they would be. He wasn't malicious. He wasn't really trying. He wasn't trying to hurt the goalkeeper. They were both going for a ball, and there's a chance the ball might pop loose. I mean, not all keepers, you know. The guy, he kept the hold of the ball. He did a great job from a keeper's perspective. But when you go out into that part of the box, I mean, that's the risk you're taking. That is part of being a goalkeeper out there and laying yourself out.
Heated discussion in Spanish, Koke Vegas, the native of Spain.
And you just want to see no one get hurt, you know, but...
Certainly.
But, yeah, there was contact and there was a foul.
Vegas, Levante, played in La Liga a bit.
But it's always, I find it very hard to tell in men's soccer what the level of the offense really was, because there's so much writhing around or, you know, acting drama. I think
Are you saying the ladies don't give you that
I don't
kind of
see
drama?
as much. I don't see it as much. It definitely exists, but
about to
not. I don't think they have the drama school. It has as many lessons in.
That's hilarious. Heidi Mocha, of course, the former UMass right and left back. I know you played both sides. Brianna Scurry, of course, your teammate, U.S. Soccer Hall of Fame goalkeeper, member of the 99ers. You want to talk about great American soccer memories. Brandy Chastain whipping her jersey off for the sports bra moment.
Well, Bry made the save on the penalty kick that allowed the U.S. to get another penalty kick that then Brandy made good on.
Well,
made history.
Talk about those big U.S. soccer moments. There aren't quite as many on the men's side, but Landon Donovan in the 2010
right
versus Algeria, maybe one of the biggest of all.
Well, and then I know their color analyst is one of Bry's former national team teammates with Shannon McMillan. So
how about that? Nice scoop over. Harris trying to find Gomez. They're trying to work something, but San Diego having none of it. Here's Blake to clear. I think everybody remembers where they were when Landon Donovan scored that goal in stoppage time to allow the United States to finish top of its group and get advancement in the World Cup 2010 in South Africa. An amazing moment. Dylan Maris, what a through ball. Lucho still with it by the keeper, but great last-ditch defending by Elijah Martin. And it becomes a corner kick at the last. Lucho just not able to control the ball for a shot, able to get by Vegas. But Locomotive will have to settle for a corner.
Yeah, and Vegas came out to, you know, try to put pressure on that ball, and Lucho did a good job to get to it, but it was the defense was recovering, and it just made it that touch a little bit wide, and they were able to knock it out.
Dylan Maris to deliver this ball now. Some venom. Vegas with a stop. Richie Ryan heads it back into trouble. Nobody able to get a foot to it. And here's Hines, one of his first touches of the evening. Good ball to Maris. Ryan looping one to the far post. Vegas seemingly had some trouble with that.
Yeah, and that's where I know we kind of talked about the first half. What do we want to see in the second half? Maris comes back central, gets it to Ryan. Ryan serves across, but it needs to be wide of the goal to a target so that they can have a chance on goal. Otherwise, it's keeper's going to get that ball 9 times out of 10. So I really like to attack the end line, drop it back. That is much harder ball to defend against. Much higher probability of an attacking shot on goal.
Well, the Texas Tech nod to the dock for Among, who I think a referee, Mr. Demyanchuk, played advantage because Locomotive kept the ball. Among clearly going over the top, but took the worst of that. As Eric Calvillo gets right back up, and Among does not. Among's 43rd minute goal giving Loyal the 2-0 lead. And we have seen the deadliness of Landon Donovan's side tonight against the run of play and with the ball. They've scored both of their goals in completely different facets tonight, Heidi.
And I mean, they are leading the league in goal scoring for a reason. They find ways to get goals. They're not just a one-trick pony.
Indeed. 54 and 55 in the season for San Diego Loyal. And it will be a dropped ball for Locomotive, able to put this back into play. Sergei Demyanchuk is our referee tonight. Locomotive with 3 first half yellow cards and 1 here in the second. League leaders they are.
I think the Locomotive really, they need to find ways to do a simple thing on the attack. Find pairs to play in, or sets of threes. Make it easy to beat someone. I mean, that is simple
Triangles.
soccer.
Yes, yes. They've not been able to successfully pull that off just yet. Locomotive has certainly tilted the pitch for the most part of the opening 15 minutes of this second half. They had possession in the first half, but they've had clearly the better of the opportunities as quick foul. Richie Ryan over the top. Among. Calvillo, the advantage played. Richie Ryan, nicely done. Maris, Mucho, well cut out by Kyle Adams, and a foul on Locomotive FC. Dylan Maris getting a word from Sergei Demyanchuk. But you feel that there's a little more venom in that Locomotive attack. Rachel Phillips, I don't know your thoughts from the side of the pitch, but I would imagine John Hutchinson feels like that goal must be coming.
Yeah, that's definitely right, Duke. And it feels like that from the sidelines too, watching every play happen. It feels like they're just so close to getting that goal, and once they do, it's going to be a trickle effect like what we've seen last week, where they scored 4 goals in 14 minutes. Between the third and the fourth goal, there was just 1 minute and 20 seconds separating. So to say this team can score goals in quick succession is an understatement. After that last opportunity created from Lucho.
Among. Out it comes a turn and a fire. Evan Newton able to scoop that away.
Now you see Vassell right there hoping for a rebound, but Newton just well
Evan
done
Newton providing
to
that.
hang on to it.
Good work from Guido. Back to Rachel.
Yeah, Duke, I was just saying, after that last opportunity from Lucho, where he had a shot on goal, Hutch bent over, hands on his knees, just kind of for a moment waiting there, thinking that it was going to be something, and knowing that it's coming, just waiting for it to eventually happen.
Well, Lucho has certainly been in dangerous positions. I think the guy that really loved to spring, we talked about this a bit in the first half, is Aron Gomez, El Paso's all-time leading goal scorer during that 4-match drought where the Locomotive were not able to put the ball back in the net. Obviously, both of your forwards, you want them to get untracked. Lucho's had his. Great cross into the middle. But not able to steer it. Kyle Vassell well over the bar. Aron Gomez, though. We haven't seen Locomotive able to put him in those situations where he excels freely. A big turnover here. Trying to find Black in the open spaces. Blake. Goodness, I could pull off Alejandro Guido, but I can't do Jack Blake. I don't know what that is. Two syllables, Keith. Come on. Harris will be whistled for the foul here. And here is Jack Blake. Two-headed monster in Blake and Charlie Adams. Step over again. Outswinger. Firmly. By Zacarias. Harris bides his time. Bit of a slow roller. Zacarias, good step through. Good takeout in turn, though. Solid work by Colin Martin. Too quick, perhaps.
I think he said the ball was moving.
Oh, it was
That's what
moving.
I think the ref was
Nick
unhappy
Hines.
with.
Trying to see it through. San Diego meets him. Hines is somebody else you'd love to see get loose on the wing. Calvillo. Into the middle. Lucho can't control. Adams. Lucho committing the foul for Locomotive and a free kick coming for Loyal. In no hurry to get up. Well, I don't think you're seeing any of the counterattacking frenzy that there was last week in Colorado Springs. Certainly switchbacks have that fifth gear, but
yes.
Do they have the first, second, and third? I think that might be part of their issue this season. San Diego has shown a range. And back with the ball here.
And I was looking, I mean, I kind of feel like San Diego also has a certain amount of discipline that we don't see with a lot of teams in many areas, but one included is when they do commit a foul. You know, they're very tactical versus emotional. Because usually when there's a little bit of emotion, that's when you end up with a card. Not that, you know, there's sometimes, yes, it is a professional foul and you end up with a yellow on purpose. But I kind of feel like they are just under control in that area.
The space for Miris by Newton. Calvillo out wide to Boehner. That was a hopeful pass, but it bounces kindly from Miris. Reflected by Martin. Ryan, second bite of the apple. Maybe a handball, or referee allows the play on, and here's Fox to challenge, spilled by Vegas, who's there to cover. Adams to help, but boy, oh boy, Aron Gomez.
Love to pounce on one of those. We haven't seen it in too long.
You had to imagine his eyes got pretty big on that. Vegas hasn't looked the surest in terms of his handling of the ball, but it's enough. For 67 minutes, into 67 minutes, here's Martin. Well cut out by Calvillo. Maybe a little more of that for Locomotive FC. You know, we talk about the offense and what Locomotive's able to do. Really, it seems to me the issue's been the back line. How much do they miss Yuma tonight?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Yuma, we've talked about him as a veteran player who just provides not just, you know, leadership in soccer, but he just has intangibles that you can't bring, you know, you can't teach someone else.
Too far ahead for Zacarias. It'll be a goal kick.
So, I mean, Yuma is missed for sure. I mean, he's also got that fire in him that that we love to see.
Indeed. Very pleasant evening here in El Paso, Texas. 8th notch keeping the beat going down in section 105. Solid crowd despite the rains, which have been pretty consistent over the last 3 days here in the El Paso, Las Cruces area. Amam. Played wide to Blake, and why not? Step 2 by Hines. We'll try it again. Blake will loft one. Headed over the bar. One pair of orange shoes to the other, Evan Conway. Adams. Vassell. Conway. Good bounce for Aron Gomez. Maris. Aron Gomez will have a go, and it's tipped wide by Coque Vegas. A Locomotive corner kick. That was headed for the net. Looked like it was just ready to dip under the crossbar. So in the end, a good save. Goodness, what an angle there. Great replay.
Yeah, when he received that ball in the middle third, his pivot and turn was just not something that a lot of players can do. His balance, his awareness.
The far post, and it's in! Olympico! Dylan Maris, or did Lucho get a touch? Let's see. Coque Vegas is going to get a caution for protesting.
Right like that, right? Locomotive's back in it, 2-1.
Goodness gracious, let's see how this one transpires. Did anybody touch this going in? 2-1 Locomotive, the goal in the 70th minute. To me, it looked like no one got a piece.
And that's the thing with corner kicks are direct. You do not need a second touch. That's the beauty.
Carlos Zacarias trying to get him fired up. Double substitution for San Diego Loyal. Colin Martin comes off, replaced by Tumi Boshabane. Thomas Among replaced by Nick Moon. Coque Vegas is going to get the caution. Let's see. Nobody touched it. That is an Olympico by Dylan Maris. Coque Vegas complaining Lucho gave him a little shove in the back. Our referee, Sergei Domyanchuk, sees it as a Locomotive goal. Dylan Maris with one of the most unique goals scored in Locomotive history.
And that's where even the official may look at it like the ball was nowhere near, you know, if he wanted to possibly make a call on that.
Well, here comes San Diego. Chipped back in and bounce to Blake on the volley.
And that was a huge challenge by Hines. Even though he couldn't win it, you want to at least put pressure so it's not a clean opportunity by the opponent.
Well, Dylan Maris with his 8th goal of the season. What a tear. 3 goals in 3 matches for Maris. The Olympico, the first ever scored by Locomotive. And one of the few you will ever see in professional soccer. That is not something that happens often, Heidi.
Maybe in youth, but not.
Let's head down to Rachel Phillips. What do the bench think of that, Rach?
Yeah, that was something else from Dylan Maris. He was the guy that ignited things last week with a goal in the 53rd minute. Will he be the guy that ignites things here with a goal in the 70th minute and in that type of fashion as well? Interesting enough, you know, the bench very excited, all the players on the field very excited as well. Hutchinson himself just took a sip of water, put the lid back on the bottle of water. That was it. That was the reaction from head coach John Hutchinson. He knows this team is not done here, and they're not done yet tonight.
Dylan Maris with his 8th of the season, and it couldn't have come at a better time for Locomotive FC. 2-1 is the score. The Olympico scored in the 69th minute. Nobody was quite sure what to make of it.
I think there was some jockeying going on.
Well, definitely.
In the middle of the box, and then it was just beyond all of the activity, right into the net.
Great ball from Newton. My goodness. Hines crossing. Vegas has to steer it out. Zacarias. Chopped well by San Diego, and here's Martin to clear out the danger. And for everybody's head, it'll be on them to bring it down. Well done, Locomotive. Here's Hines again, great ball. Into the top of the box, looped over, wide. Still in play, I think it was deflected. Calvillo got a piece, but so did Loyal. Again, Locomotive, Aron Gomez into the middle. White shirts aplenty and another clearance. There to settle.
And Loyal says, let's just relieve pressure. Let's get it out of here.
Here's Boehner. Well, Rachel Phillips pointed out, Locomotive bench thought it was just a matter of time. Indeed it was. Out wide for Loyal. It's a solid run by Moshabani. Moshabani. Zacarias will be whistled for the foul. Left a little bit extra in. Nick Moon out there on the left side. Earns San Diego a free kick. Blake, as usual, back there with Charlie Adams. Jack Blake got things going with a beautiful pass over the top. The Adams to chip it. Outswinging ball, and it's in for the goal. Right there, Evan Conway and Evan Newton left in no man's land. Loyal, 3-1. Simple as you please on the set piece, and Adams. Nobody there to meet him as he peels away from Richie Ryan.
And they just tried to mess with the timing on the defensive team. Obviously, they know their play. You know, they know that it's a little bit of a stutter step and late service. So, you know, they're known for their set pieces, and they pulled that one off well. But Locomotive has got to challenge on that. It was just a little bit off kilter.
Goodness gracious.
You cannot, that is a dangerous spot to give up a free kick.
Well, 3-1 to Loyal. They've scored them just about every way you can score a goal. Set pieces against the run of play. Passing the ball. Jack Blake gets a well-deserved rest.
But Locomotive has to remember last match, you know, they did not need that many minutes to put goals in the back of the net. So they have got to stay positive, play simple.
And for Locomotive FC, great to welcome Artom Kolod, the Ukrainian, in for Ricardo Zacharias on that right wing. And let's see what the young 22-year-old from Shakhtar Donetsk and their system can do. Foul. Loyal as they take down Lucho. Let's head down to Rachel Phillips with more on Kalud and what John Hutchinson is looking for as he makes substitutions himself.
Yeah, well, Duke, you have both the newbies coming in, Liam Rose and Artem Kolod, coming onto the field now. And this is exactly why these two guys were signed here to the El Paso Locomotive. It's to make an impact here in the latter half of the season. Artem there just running onto the ball. He actually was playing in the Ukrainian Premier League prior to moving to the Locomotive, but due to the ongoing war in Ukraine, players were dissolved of those contracts and released from their contracts and able to move elsewhere, which is what opened the pathway up for Kolod to come here to the El Paso Locomotive and try and make something happen here tonight with the team now down 3-1, but still plenty of time left in the game.
About to hit the 79th minute, and certainly Koke Vegas will take his time. The Olympico scored by Dylan Maris, but it is back to a 2-goal deficit for Locomotive FC. Boehner wins that. Running onto it. Well, that is a dangerous takedown. And Liam Rose, minutes, maybe 1 minute on the pitch, gets a caution.
I really would like, I know the Locomotive leads the league in yellow cards. I know that we are a very physical team. Hutch is supportive of the physical play, but I really would like the Locomotive to have a little bit more discipline, stay on their feet, control the ball, control the players. I think that helps also in transition. It helps them with their rhythm, getting forward. I think that it's disruptive, and also it obviously at times gives a free kick in an area that's dangerous that the other teams have opportunities. So, you know, that's something I really think the Locomotive could emphasize more, like through team-wide.
Liam Rose with another takedown, allowing San Diego with a free kick. Back and forth it comes. Nick Moon, Moshabani. Trying to find it to Moshabani again. It'll be Guido. Martin has been dancing on that left wing for San Diego most of the night. Adams. The goal scorer Kyle Vassell with a touch in there. Opened the scoring in the 8th or the 17th minute. Shabani. Moon. Moon making a move. Well fronted by Kolud. Ukrainian first action. It'll be a corner kick for San Diego, but dealing with things well, one-on-one.
Yeah, he kept the ball in view. He tried to control the man. I mean,
your old spot.
Yeah.
Keep it in front of you, right?
He was near the end line, so that's often a consequence of you don't want to give up, but if it's that or let them get you around the corner, then that's the better option.
Charlie Adams delivered the assist in the 3rd goal and almost sets one up, but over the top of Vassell. Throw in for Locomotive FC.
Yeah, that kind of ball, if it gets a touch on it, the deflection may go straight onto the goal, but it's hard to be on the end of that one. it's a little too difficult.
Fox. Lucho bounces kindly from Eris. Colon. Low cross. Probably not where he wanted it to go, but Maris will give him another crack. No foul whistled here as he gets tangled with Moon. San Diego with a throw-in, much to the dismay of the crowd here at Southwest University Park. Well, again, San Diego. A goal against the run of play to open the scoring in the 17th. A goal passing the ball left to right in the 43rd. And then in the 76th, the goal from Charlie Martin on the restart. Direct kick. So set pieces against the run of play.
Yeah.
In the run of play. San Diego, a dominating performance here tonight.
Possessing and also playing direct. Mixing it up.
Ron Gomez is fouled here. Protests from Grant Stoneman. Referee Demjanchuk saying no more. Making a bit of a meal of that for the crowd here in El Paso, perhaps. Richie Ryan. Locomotive is looking for answers. Swing of the ball, offside flag was up. Wouldn't have mattered. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC channel 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access. That's Tuesday nights, Tuesday afternoons at 5 o'clock Mountain, plus live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app. Your companion often making the trip between Las Cruces and El Paso, correct?
Exactly.
Shabani. Well done to take it away by Ander. Good touch by Lucho. Crosses Martin up. Crosses Moon up. Too many white jerseys. And Conway. Stoneman. Metcalf came in to replace Jack Blake. Locomotive with a solid crowd tonight after all of the rains, but looking for something to cheer for.
Yes.
Locomotive stuck in its own half of the pitch right now. 5 minutes plus stoppage time to get something happening. And if you're John Hutchinson, what do you want to see? Have we seen the inside-out movement or outside-in that you've wanted to see?
Earlier in the half, yes. Lately, it's just been kind of a recycle, repeat, you know, I mean.
Here's Hines. Seems like they tried it there.
I kind of feel like our offensive part of our team is always running away when we have the ball at our feet. Something that I like to see also is sometimes like played into feet. Again, simple. Maybe your back is to the goal, but you have men that are running through that then you can simple knock to, spin off, or then you shoot it out wide. Just little basic, little simple things, and then the game all of a sudden opens up.
Boehner. Golud. Nice ball into space. Too far ahead. Not able to connect with Liam Rose, flashing out of the midfield. Liam Rose, the man from Australia. It took him a while to get all of the paperwork sorted out. There's no telling, I mean, you know, the United States has friendly relations with Australia. At least I think, Rachel Phillips. We are allies, correct? We do have friendly and open relations with the land down under, do we not, Rachel Phillips?
Yeah, I'd say it's friendly enough. Couple Kiwis on the pitch tonight, which I was intrigued about. Actually looked at, neither of them had played in any of the A-League though.
How about that, Golud? It's tangled up. Ball stays in play. Well, there's a ball that's also, no, it isn't. It is a goal kick. Golud went to retrieve it, but somebody had already handed the ball for Evan Newton to kick. Ron Gomez. And the caution is issued to Grant Stoneman. Deep into the 88th minute. Things getting desperate and dire for Locomotive FC. They have had their moments, especially in the second half, Rachel.
Yeah, they certainly have, Duke. And I mean, they are on the precipice right now of 6 games winless in a row. But that's not to say that their playoff contention has dropped. They're in 6th place coming into tonight's game. And look, they're not too far behind from still being able to secure that playoff spot. But Hutch said during the week that, you know, these are the games that they really want to be winning if they are to show other teams that they're a threat to be reckoned with come playoff times if they do, in fact, make them. I know they'll be disappointed with tonight's loss, as it does end up as a loss, but there are some positives to take away for sure.
Here's Richie Ryan. On there. Nicely done through to Aaron Gomez, steering it wide for Hines. Hines looking for the near post. Missing by double over the top of the bar.
And
shots on target.
I know. At San Diego, they do a really good job of getting numbers behind the ball, in front of the ball. Like it looks like there's no place to go, or where do I go next? When you do get the ball, you feel like you have very little time. They have a lot more time than they feel like they do. And then, and then you get, Hines gets it and he's like, oh, I have a chance, and just kind of picks that head up and doesn't get that ball down. They want it so badly. They're kind of rushing a little bit, but I got to give San Diego credit for creating that kind of pressure, just being in front, like making them create their own space and earn that chance.
Of course, Locomotive facing a run of the top teams in the West. But if you imagine yourself to be a top team in the West, you have to beat the top teams in the West.
Now, credit to them for, getting on the board. I mean, San Diego doesn't give up a lot of goals either. So you have to tip your hat to that if you're El Paso and say, how do we make sure that we don't give up what we gave up, and how do we get more in the back of the net, even against teams that are having the success that San Diego is having this season. But remember, you did get a goal. You got a goal against a very well-coached, well-organized, tough opponent.
4 minutes of stoppage time.
And we've seen Locomotive score in stoppage time.
We have.
So go out there and keep working. And that's the thing, Locomotive does not give up. We saw that last game. It's a never give up mentality. And we've seen that tonight as well.
Harris, Fox delivering. He wanted to find Aron. Hines mishandled, but keeps it in play.
He's so quick.
Maris, Hines, turning to the far post. Golud. Maybe with a little more timing. Golud, nice touch. He's going to get this back. Aaron Gomez. 22-year-old from Ukraine. Onto the pitch for a first time as a Locomotive player. Into the second of 4 stoppage minutes. Maris retrieving this one. First time effort, did not miss by much. Got Vegas to take a bow. But over the bar, and certainly the Spaniard will take his time. He's trying to make something happen, Dylan Maris. On that, wins position, but not able to keep it. And here's Moon. All the way out front, off his line, Vassell. Well fronted by Newton and forced to go wide, but he'll be content to the right side of the area. Swing and a miss. Hines with a throw in. Guido not able to keep control there for San Diego. Loyal looking to keep pace with San Antonio FC and earn their 16th win. Less than a couple of minutes away, depending on when Mr. Demjanchuk finally blows that whistle of doing so. Locomotive winless in 5 and on the verge of being winless in 6, though the great come from behind tie versus Switchbacks FC last week. We've seen none of the fireworks, and again, you point to Loyal is a big reason for that.
Yeah.
It's a well-coached team.
It is.
Maris. That will be a foul. And a yellow card on Guido. Rose too quick in the restart. Maris to put it in play. Over the top. Lucho. Can't chip it over.
Those are tough balls to handle and to get to drop in. It is. Remember, I talked about the ball's coming straight at the keeper. It's much easier for him to play it than to go receive it over the top, and there's not a lot of room to work with there.
Fox a good touch here. Maris, dipsy doodle, Rose, Fox. Didn't put that where he wanted it to go. And that is going to do it. It ends quietly on a Saturday evening. 3-1 to Loyal. Landon Donovan and John Hutchinson with handshakes. American soccer legend Landon Donovan has his San Diego Loyal 16 wins on the season and 52 points as Locomotive falls. Its 5th loss in 6 matches, winless in 6, trying to find some answers. We'll have to wait until next week with Rising FC. Back with a postgame as we continue from Southwest University Park after this.
Los Locos return home on Saturday, August 27th at Southwest University Park to take on Phoenix Rising FC. The first 1,500 fans through the gates will receive a free Locomotive Luchador mask and stay after the match for the best fireworks show in the city. Find your tickets at eplocomotivefc.com. Vamos El Paso! Los Locos return home on Saturday, August 27th at Southwest University Park to take on Phoenix Rising FC. The first 1,500 fans through the gates will receive a free Locomotive luchador mask and stay after the match for the best fireworks show in the city. Find your tickets at eplocomotivefc.com. Vamos El Paso!
Welcome back to Southwest University Park. 3-1 Loyal SC over Locomotive FC. Duke Keith along with Heidi Mocha as once again, pretty dominating effort for Loyal SC in the end, Heidi.
Yeah, they definitely, Locomotive isn't used to having another team possessing the ball and having them chase after it, but they got their shots and on target and put them in the back of the net.
We take a look at our full match stats brought to you by GECU. Total shots, Loyal outshooting El Paso 20-15. Shots on target 6-5. All of that in the second half for Locomotive FC. All 5 shots on target. The shot accuracy, amazingly, favors Locomotive, but it's the 3-1 scoreline, obviously. That's the big deal. Passing accuracy, dead even between two of the top passing teams in the West and in the USL. And possession, pretty much like it was in the first half, Heidi. Really not much of a difference, but quality in the end for San Diego, isn't it?
Execution in that final third, and the only stat that really matters at the end of this match is who had more goals in the back of the net.
3-1 is your scoreline for Loyal SC. We take a look at our save of the game from Evan Newton. Streaking through on the breakaway. Among, great work. Scored a goal at the end of the first half. Wasn't able to score a second. Evan Newton standing tall for Locomotive SC.
He read that well, and I think that kept the Locomotive, gave the Locomotive an opportunity to stay in the match and try to come back and make a game of it.
Once again, here's Richie Ryan. A physical play of the game, and Andrew Fox takes the nod there, the Englishman. Solid effort this evening, and a very Yuma-esque takeout of Guido, who was in full stretch, and that was a Yuma kind of a play, wasn't it?
That was.
The Englishman has learned his craft well from his center defender teammate. Yuma will be back with Locomotive next week, and how much did they miss the Spaniard tonight?
Yeah, I mean, as we mentioned, Yuma has those intangibles that you just cannot replace, and his veteran leadership and the fire that he brings on the pitch, it's unique. It's unique to Yuma. And he's well known around the league for it.
Indeed. Let's head down to Rachel Phillips with our Estrella of the match. Rachel.
I'm joined by your Estrella of the match, Dylan Meres. Dylan, I know that's not the kind of result we wanted here tonight and what you wanted here tonight, but for yourself, 3 goals in 2 matches, the third of those coming just a few minutes ago. These fans saw it, a crazy goal, an Olympico. Is that what you were aiming for on that goal?
Yeah, I think the objective was to crowd the goalie and put a ball in to disrupt them and hope for a result of some sort.
Well, you got the result, and these fans got treated to something pretty special, something that's never happened in Locomotive history. They also got treated to a really gutsy performance from you guys, the same kind of thing that we saw last week as well. How proud are you guys of the team for coming out here in the second half, even though you were down a couple goals, to really fight and put a goal on the board?
Yeah, I think the effort was there from the majority of the game, but again, there's times where we turn off, and as you can see, the scoreboard is what happens when that occurs. So we just need to stay focused for 90 minutes and keep playing.
What do you want to say to these fans for coming out here, sticking out when it nearly could have rained and it had been a kind of crazy night?
Yeah, no, thank you. We appreciate the support. Rain or shine, we love you guys. Thank you guys again for coming out and supporting us.
Dylan Meres, your Estrella of the match, and fans, I'm sure they'll want to see you back out here next week when they take on Phoenix Rising FC. Dylan, there's your trophy as well as your shirt. We're going to give you a little ball as well to sign here. I'll take these back for you so you can sign that one and then kick it up into the crowd. One lucky fan is going to get the Estrella of the match ball from Dylan Meres, and considering the touch he had on the ball tonight, fans, you want this one. Dylan Meres, your Estrella of the match.
Nicely done. Thank you very much, Rachel Phillips.
And that is almost
thanks
caught.
Dylan Meres as well. Up into the upper deck, I don't think we've had that before. As we do, Brian Bird's moving into the next match before we call it a night, presented by the Brian Bird's home selling team. A week from tonight, Locomotive hosting Phoenix Rising. These two teams played each other back in June in Arizona. Locomotive defeating Rising 1-0 on a Ron Gomez penalty kick. Rising has not been the powerhouse that we're used to seeing. Of course, they let their manager, Rick Shantz, go this last week. Still a good win for Locomotive on the road at the time, and a dangerous opponent as Locomotive looks to secure that playoff spot. Still in the running, Heidi.
And Duke, Rising is also trying to, as you said, make it into the playoffs, so we'll have huge playoff match implications for both sides next week. And it's somewhat of a rivalry now after the 2020 season ended with the Locomotive losing in PKs in the Western Conference Final. But this season, El Paso accomplished something they had never done before in their history, and that's get a win. So big credit to the players and technical staff for that June win on the road, where they put together what up to that point was a signature performance. So now El Paso can get the season sweep at home and get one game closer to locking in a playoff spot.
Well, a match we have to look forward to. That is next week at 7:30 p.m. right here at Southwest University Park. Locomotive FC, Phoenix Rising FC. Tickets at eplocomotivefc.com. Just remains for us to thank all of the fine folks who helped us out. Our director tonight, Cesar Ruiz, our producer, Juan Gutierrez, for Rachel Phillips, for Heidi Mocha. I am Duke Keith. Your final score, Loyal SC 3, Locomotive FC 1. So long, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.